Awesome.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Bangers and Mash. I am Hussein.
And I'm Mash, and today,
Oh yeah, and I'm the guest Pi.
Yes,
so
we got
yeah,
Pi on here.
Pi, whose name is actually Pi, like Pi. How are you today, Pi?
Oh, I'm pretty good. How are you two?
Excellent. Super excited to have you on here, man. We're so stoked. I think you're going to be a great guest to have on here. Before we get into it, Pi, couple of disclaimers, which I think we're going to start every episode with. Um, we don't have a plan per se as to what we're going to talk about, and then we kind of just go with the flow. And the second one is that we don't edit this. Whatever we talk about, it kind of is what it is. We don't edit anything in or out, and then it gets uploaded. Anything to add to that, Mash?
Well, no, I just think it is what it is, bro. It is.
Mhm. Also, Pi, at the end of the episode, we're going to ask who you think would make a good next guest. And that is the person that we're going to try and get on for next week. So
Yeah.
think about it during the episode, please.
It can be literally anybody. So, like, you just name whoever like you want to see come onto this podcast at the end, okay?
I'm probably gonna leave it up to RNG. I'm gonna use random.org and just like see what comes up.
That's
Sure.
a great way of
Totally
doing
okay
it
with that.
too. Yeah.
Totally okay with that, man.
Probability, if we have, how many people do we have in this cohort? 20 something.
26, I think.
25 or 26, yep.
So it would be what, like minus us three and George?
And George.
Yeah.
So one of 22, I guess. For
Those are still good numbers.
everyone.
Those
Yeah,
are still really good odds. Wait, getting chosen is a good thing, right? Come on here. Like
Yeah.
it's a good
Yeah.
combo. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, cool. This is the desired outcome, right?
Yes. Yes, getting
Yes.
chosen is the desired outcome. Do you guys think we're ever gonna get people that don't want to participate?
From our cohort?
Yeah.
I don't.
That's a good question. I guess like what would be the reasons for not wanting to come on? I guess like yeah, I'm not sure.
I, I I hope and assume that everybody would want to come on here. I think it'd just be time constraints, which should be the
Yeah.
biggest factor, biggest barrier to overcome. Mhm. But we are definitely never having anybody from 152 on here. That would be just
No. 1-5
right.
can go suck a dick somewhere.
Well, I think what you should do though is I think like when April Fools comes around, you should like say you're gonna have a guest from 152. Like your like title should be like like the best special guest 152, like whoever it is.
And just shit on them the whole episode.
So the thumbnail is us doing this. Guess from 152. You won't believe what happened, right? And then the video starts and we're just like reasons why 152 sucks.
Yeah, I think when you're introduced, like when you're trying to like recruit a guest, you should send like an email that's like extremely friendly, saying like we really want to join the two cohorts and like learn more about it. And then when like in the interview, like you have to just start like dropping them with like questions that for them on the spot.
That would be amazing. We could totally do this.
Do you guys remember when Dr. Burford said she had this talk going on at lunchtime, like sometime last week, that a few people went to? And so Azaria went and Jessica went, and I think they came back and they told us that they met some people from 142. And they made friends with people from 142. And then someone in the chat, not sure if it was Mary or not, but she was like, you talk to people from another cohort?
Oh, so it's actually all cohorts. I wasn't sure if there was like some like beef with 152 specifically, or if it's just like all cohorts are like bad except us.
No. We don't hate 142 at all. 142 is great. I'm sure they're
so
people.
What's the origin story of like 152? Why we hate them? I actually don't know.
So nothing brings people together quite like a common enemy, you know?
Yeah.
And that was it. There's actually no basis in this beef whatsoever. During the first week, for some reason, I decided 152 sucks. And I went around telling everybody 152 sucks, and it became a cohort thing. And now everybody dislikes them just because I started this. This beef is entirely imaginary. You know, if
Yeah.
you went up to somebody at 152 and be like, you, they'd be like, huh? They wouldn't be like, fuck you back. You know?
Well, I remember exactly what we were doing too. Like this was our first day of classes. Um,
Mhm.
so it was lunchtime and we had like an hour to kill. So we all went to that cafe across the street from Oisy and we were
That's
sitting in a
right.
circle. And then Hussein was just like, fuck those 152 people. And everyone was like, yeah. Like for some reason, everyone was like, yeah, fuck them. And he went around for the rest of the week saying 152 sucks. And then during your practicum, weren't you placed with someone from 152?
I have a friend in 152. He's my friend.
And then
Oh
you
my
challenged
God.
them to a dodgeball game or something.
Yes,
Wait,
ultimate
like a
dodgeball.
one-on-one dodgeball game?
No, cohort versus cohort.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Ryan, if you're ever listening to this, what up, man? You know, I know we talk shit about your cohort, but like we said, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Can you
Yeah,
imagine if
he's
someone
actually really cool.
can you imagine if someone from 162 and 152 fell in love? And then it would be like the Montagues and
Oh,
the
Romeo and
Capulets,
Juliet, yeah.
yeah. And then
nice.
Sade and I would be the parent of the group, and we'd be like, "You're not allowed
No, you can't go out with that person.
to."
Oh man. So yes, that is the origins of our story with 152.
That's
And
interesting.
also to this day, Faria will not have my back. Every time I tell her, let's start some beef, let's go get into a fight, she'll be like, no, we're cohort reps. We can't do that.
That's funny.
Wait, so at the cohort rep meetings, don't you meet the reps from 152?
We don't it's all online, it's on Zoom, nobody talks, it's just a few people giving us information. Everybody else has their cameras and mics off. So no. If we did, I would be like
Oh man.
oh yeah. That's the origin story.
All right. Hi.
Yep.
Is it true that you like math? Like, do you actually like math? Like a lot?
Yeah, no, I actually do. Like, I'm I'm not even sure why actually. Like, I actually just feel like a strange sense of like relaxation, like when I have a math problem. I don't know why. Like, it's very weird actually. Like, it it's just kind of like, to me, it's almost like solving a puzzle or something.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And like, yeah, I think like when you like mind like a lot of people, like they have like a bad experience with math, like maybe because like they had a bad math teacher, or they have like math anxiety. But I think like, as we've seen in like Paranaz's class, like with like rich tests and stuff, can actually be like pretty interesting, and like there can be multiple approaches. It's not like you just have to follow like step by step, like kind of blindly. I think it is actually like a really interesting subject. It wasn't just because my name, I was like, I have to pretend to like math or something.
That's fair. That's fair. And you
Have
know
you
what? You,
heard-
you bring up a good point. Sorry, Mash, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. What the heck?
Okay.
You go. You talk.
You bring up a really good point, Pi, about Parnas's class, you know, and just having people like multiple entry points, you know, to get people in. And I think there's a lot of beauty in that. And I think one of the good things that's come from Parnas's class, aside from the learning, is I feel a lot of our classmates who really disliked math beforehand are more open to it now, to learning it and to teaching it. So my question to you is, no, Mash, you still peace out? Okay, cool. So Pi, if you have a student and they say, I absolutely hate math, how do you deal with that? How do you talk to that student?
Yeah, actually, so that's actually one of my favorite parts of teaching, is like what it's kind of like when a student comes to you like starting with like a defeated attitude, like, oh, there's no chance I'll ever be able to like get through this math problem. And then they like, you can just see that like they've just like resigned before even starting. And then like just slowly like going step by step with them, and them kind of seeing like, wait, I actually, if I can just do this first step and I can do this, and now I can do this, and then but by the end they actually realize they can do it, and then they like have a feeling of like triumph at the end. Like I love kind of that like that light bulb moment that goes off in them.
So let me propose a situation to you, and then you tell me how you would deal with it. Is that
Yeah,
okay?
sure.
So, and this is like a real situation. Like it happened to me during my practicum where I was teaching a grade 5 classroom and we were doing triangles. And so we were doing isosceles, equilateral, and scalene triangles basically. And when we were like,
So like trying to identify triangles or like calculate like angles
yeah,
or like like calculating angles.
calculating angles, and after that, like deciding what kind of triangle it is.
Okay.
And I had a student who she had her worksheet in front of her, but she just sat there with her hand on her like face, like her elbow on the table, and she just like was like playing with the pencil, and she looked so defeated and so depressed. Every time I would go and I'd be like, hey, what's up? Like, do you need help? Is there something I can do for you? I had trouble when I was doing this worksheet too. Let's do it together. And she looked so defeated. Like she wouldn't even respond to me verbally. She just didn't want to do math. It just wouldn't get to her. And I was that student, right? So I knew how she felt. I knew more than anyone like what she was going through, but I didn't know how to help her. So as someone who is who's doing a math teachable and someone like yourself who appreciates math so much, like how would you as a teacher go about that situation? I'm just curious.
So yeah, that's a good one. I usually try to like start with like the smallest possible element that they do know to like so like I'm not sure what they were trying to do in that particular question, like if they're trying to like find like a missing angle or something, but like I would like just kind of like ask them questions to kind of see like what pieces they already know that they need to solve the problem and what pieces are
So
missing.
what the problem was is that we were like measuring the angles, defining the type of triangle, and then we were adding up the angles together, and all of the angles inside of a triangle have to add up to 180, right?
Yeah.
So that's what they were trying to add. So it was like a very like formative type of worksheet, like start the unit off with kind of thing. But Hussein, are you okay? You keep like side-eyeing something.
I'm pulling up something to show y'all afterwards. That's why.
But yeah, so that was the problem. So just so you have that context, Pi.
Yeah, no, so definitely like so yeah, like math, I feel like to solve problem, like there's like the problem, but then it's almost like a tree. Like you have to go deeper down and have a solid base on like certain concepts to be able to even like solve the problem. So you kind of have to keep going down the tree until you see like what actual part they're actually missing. So like yeah, so like for like this is an example, but like if they if you have to verify that it adds up to 180, but like they don't know how to add, let's say, well then you have to like once you realize that, you have to like show them how to add. Like you have to like make sure they have all like the parts, and then start with the part that they can actually do, and then like get them to do that and say like, here, you already have now made progress on this problem. Like but by doing like this part, like you made progress, and now like let's do this part. So I guess like kind of like breaking it up into like bite-sized chunks that they can actually like take on each individually, and then like show them how to put it all together to like solve the problem.
But are you banking on them being happy for getting something though? Like what if that doesn't happen, you know? I'm asking too many questions, or is this okay?
No, it's completely fine. Sorry, can you repeat the last thing you said?
So I was asking if you're banking on them like, so breaking it down step by step, let's say they understand the first step, are we banking on them getting a euphoric sense of I did it from
Oh no. Oh no, not as well. So a lot of the time, like it's not like yeah. So definitely, like some of them, like even after getting to the first step, they'll still kind of be like defeated. But like I feel like it might give them just like even if they're at like 0% energy and they're at like 1% now, even that's like something. And then like just keep like in my opinion, like just keep going, and then like maybe by the end they're not gonna just have this like epiphany and like love math, like probably not, but like even if they just solve that problem and realize that they can do it by breaking it down, like that's like something. It's like not gonna maybe happen overnight that they'll like come around to math, but like it will be something. They've managed to get through that problem with a little bit of assistance.
Well said.
That was great though, Pi. Thank you. I'm sure people listening to this are going to find that really useful.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, there's something to be said. Like, if they walk away hating it 5% less, I think that's an accomplishment. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's a step in the right direction for sure. Um, and I think there's something to be said about students, building confidence. And I like how you said, start with what they do know, and build on that, because it's not like they know nothing. And I very much so believe that there's no
Mhm.
such thing as a student that we can't reach. You know,
That's a
the
good
only way
philosophy to
that
have. Yeah.
we can fail is if we don't try. That's a firm belief of mine. And on that note, if we try, and we connect with them, and they like, oh, I can do this question, maybe I can do this question. The hope and the goal is that the confidence grows as their skill level grows. And then you can do anything with them. I think you can teach them anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Uh, Also, I was looking this up to show y'all, and this is something that's been really powerful for me. Um, It's a quote, Henry Ford. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. It's
Oh,
about your mindset. It's about if you believe you can do it, you'll be able to do it. If you believe that you can't do it, you're never going to be able to do it. And
Yeah,
it
like a
starts with how you
self-fulfilling
think about
prophecy.
things.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think this can be applied to anything. Mhm. That's why I
yeah.
was side-eyeing earlier. I was looking that up.
Thank you for sharing that, Hussein. I had a student yesterday. So for my gym, I teach like introduction to striking. So it's like the basic 1-2s of kickboxing, right?
Mhm.
Um, and I had a particular student, I was doing a one-on-one with them, and they were very I guess self-conscious because there were so many people in the gym, and they would do a technique and they would stop and they would say, I can't do this. I'm not confident. I don't think I can do this. So what I was asking them to do was to shadow box. And shadow boxing is where you kind of use the techniques you've learned and you go about having like an imaginary target, and then you shadow box and you pretend they're striking back, or you pretend that you have a place to aim for to strike. Shadow boxing can also be done in front of the mirror with like your own body height and build kind of thing.
Mhm.
But so they couldn't get the shadow boxing because they were so self-conscious and like not confident in themselves that they would keep like stopping their punches short, or like, and not articulating all the way through, or pulling back and just like resetting, like, I can't do it. So I had to do exactly what Pi said, break it down, and I had to like give them the task of, okay, so you're still gonna shadow box, but you're gonna give me 2 strikes, 1 kick, and then you're gonna take 1 step left, right, up, or down. And then after breaking it down like that, slowly, I could finally see progress. um
Mhm.
it was like at first
That's
he told
huge.
himself that he couldn't do it, so he couldn't do it. But after breaking it down, I think finally he was realizing, okay, like, I got my 2 strikes and my kick and my step, I can probably do it again.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I hope he walked away from that with that knowledge that he can. And that's all we can really hope for as teachers, right?
Mhm. How old was the student of yours, Nash?
They're
Approximately?
adults. I'm
Okay.
not sure. He might have probably been older than myself. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Confidence
no,
looks
it
different in
affects
each of us.
everyone. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
Mhm. That's awesome. I'm so glad that you were able to connect with them and help them, overcome that barrier, however small or big.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday, like our role as teachers and how important it is. And like,
Mhm.
someone at the table said it was one of the most important jobs in the world. You know.
I think there's like they did like some kind of like survey of like what are the jobs you hold in like highest regard or something. And I think teacher was like a top 5, or like up there with like doctor and stuff, like the ones that people think are like most important in like society or whatever. So yeah.
As it should be. It's just not
Yeah.
always treated as such. But the OST.
Touche. You're not wrong about that. But yeah, we are influencing so many lives, not just educating. I think there's a huge aspect of pastoral care in what we do, regardless of how old our students are. They spend almost, if not more, almost as much, if not more time in school than they do at home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, was it you that said we're basically raising them? So some of them, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. In that sense, that's exactly what we're doing. And I think that's why that Rita Pearson TED Talk, the one that we watched in David's class, I think it was Every Kid Needs a Champion in the
Oh yeah,
corner.
yeah.
It was so powerful, and it still sticks to me. Uh some of the stuff that she said in there, something like no kid is gonna learn from a teacher that they don't like. I think that's one of the things she said in there. And that's also powerful. But just this idea of a kid needing a champion in their corner. If they have someone that believes in them, then they can do anything.
Yep.
Yeah, because I feel like learning is like such a naturally like enjoyable activity, and like I feel like for so many students, they just like hate school like pretty fast, like really early in
Yes.
the grades, and it's like
Yes.
I don't think it would be that way nearly as much if like all their teachers really like were good teachers and cared and stuff. So
Yeah, and teacher education has changed so much. Like I would die on the hill and say that teachers in the past generations do not have as much education. And that is why today, these people who have been in this profession for years and years and years and years, they're very passive and they don't teach properly. And that's why a lot of people in our generation grew up hating school. That's just
mm,
Mm, mm. And I think as the field of education grows, as academia increases, I think our jobs are going to become more, I don't want to say harder, more complicated, maybe
yeah.
might be a better word, you know? Like Dr. Burford said, like anti-discrimination was not a mandatory class until recently, right?
mm.
And now it is.
And academia is
Uh,
always, but yeah,
yeah.
sorry.
Um, is there any class? This is a question for both of you. What classes did y'all really hate, and what classes did y'all really love when you were in school? I'm thinking specifically like grade school and high school. Were there any classes that y'all really hated or really loved?
Go for it, Pi.
Oh yeah, so I think I covered this in my story, but my attitude towards school like changed like very drastically, like between like Montessori school where I love school to like more public school where I didn't. But I guess like
Mm,
talking about like what subjects I naturally like gravitate towards. So yeah, math would be one. Actually probably my second, the one I gravitated towards like second most was actually probably like English, not all parts of English, but like some
mm.
parts. Like I really like analyzing like books and movies and like stuff like that. And also creative writing. So that's actually probably my second like favorite. And then I think
Pi,
I
are
hated
you a
like most
reader?
other subjects. Oh, sorry, say that again.
Are you a reader? Like, do you like to read to this day?
So reading not as much as other like mediums, but like I do like graphic novels, games, like movies,
Hey!
TVs. Yeah.
Talk about some of your favorite graphic novels. What do you like?
Graphic novel. Well, Watchmen would be like the one I really love, but
Hussein's a
there are
fan.
others.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
sorry, what did
haven't
you say?
actually read any of the graphic novels, but the movie was sick.
Oh yeah. That was a great movie.
Yeah. Really,
And
really good.
there's
Some
also like a kind of like a horror type one called Uzumaki. That's a really good graphic novel. It's not like I don't actually like horror that much, but like this one, it's like it's a little lighter on the horror, but it's like really interesting. It's a really interesting thing.
And you said you like games, so I'm just curious about what kind of games you play.
you
Okay,
talking board
so
games or video games or both?
well, actually both, but like I was specifically talking about video games, but like
Yeah.
but yeah, so I definitely really like Nintendo stuff
Yay!
like Pokemon, Mario, Smash Brothers, and
Okay, which Smash Brothers is your favorite? Because there's different
maybe
versions, right?
Melee actually,
That's Nintendo Wii, right? No, that's not
like
Wii. That's
GameCube.
GameCube. GameCube.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was one of the best ones, honestly.
like the event matches. Yeah,
Hmm
those were cool.
Have you been playing Pokemon Scarlet?
Well, Violet, but yeah, no, I really liked it. Like people said there
Yeah.
were like technical problems, but I didn't really see any of those, and had a great story at the end, like the final thing or whatever.
You should talk to myself and Kevin about it because Kevin and I are huge fans and we play it like religiously. I don't know how far you are into the game. I'm still like going through
Oh,
all of it.
I'm done. Violet.
You're done?
Yeah, yeah.
Shoot. Okay, that's awesome, dude. I didn't know you played Pokemon. Now I can bug you about it. But yeah, no, that's great. Pokemon, like Kevin and I are huge Pokemon fans, so you should definitely
Mhm.
talk to us about it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like even like even to the point where I like go on sites like Cerebi and like Smogon and Bulbapedia and all those and stuff. Yeah.
Bulbapedia! Dude, what's your favorite Pokemon? And I want to know also like your ideal party. Like if you had like a pie party, what 6 Pokemon would be in that party?
Oh man, like so it would be different between my six because honestly, like I might have like too many dragons if I just go with like my six favorite or something, or like too many psychics. So I'd have to like think about a more balanced team. But like for fair Pokemon, I really like the Gen 3 legendaries like Kyogre and like Rayquaza.
Yeah.
Like they have massive like attack and then like the weather too. Like trying to think which other Pokemon I really like. I definitely like Mewtwo from Gen
Or
1.
yeah.
One of the originals, yeah. That's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
jam.
Oh, and
Gen
then
1.
Gen 4 is also like really good with a lot of the designs like Dialga and Palkia and like
Mm.
Giratina and Arceus highest like base stat total or whatever. Yeah.
Um, Tangent question. How many Pokemon are there in total now, and how many can you name?
Oh man, like
Oh, that's a huge number.
yeah, it's a lot now. I think it might have I think it passed oh it definitely passed 1,000 because I think Pokedex number 1,000 is like the treasure chest guy, Gimme Ghoul or whatever.
Give me Google. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think I would be able to name that much at all. Like it blanks, especially the older generations. Well, actually, older generations maybe I could name the most, but
Yeah, me
like
too. Like
generation. What were you saying, Pi?
oh no, I was gonna say like same with me. Like I feel like the earlier generations I can probably at least maybe if I could probably recognize every single Pokemon, but newer ones not as much. Like newer ones I more just kind of went through the game and it was like done. The older ones I used to like replay and stuff and like got deeper into it. But yeah.
You know who I really like from the newer generation though? I love Skeledirge. I love Skeledirge so much.
Yeah, no, there's good new
Yeah.
ones too, like Toxtricity from I think Gen 8 was a really cool one.
Yeah. But everyone's saying that they hate Koraidon because of the bicycle shape. And maybe Hussein, you can screen share and look it up so that everyone gets a visual. So because you seem kind of blank too, like you don't know who Koraidon is. Because you're
Crydon?
Korai, yeah. So Pokemon Scarlet.
Koidon Pokemon? Um, is this it? Is this who we are talking about?
Yes. So what he does is he becomes like a motorcycle and you can ride him and you can like go
What?
into yeah. I actually don't know what Miraidon does, but I know Koraidon is the motorbike Pokemon. Do you want to talk more about that, Pi, about what Miraidon does?
Well, yeah. So, well, actually, I have to be careful with spoilers, but like, but both of them are have like a similar functionality where like you use them to like traverse like the world or whatever, and like they'll gradually gain more powers. Like at first you can just kind of like walk on them, but eventually you can like do other stuff like go across water, glide, and like other stuff. And you see why it's like that like later, but I won't spoil that.
Yeah. Hussein searched
Yes.
up Croydon like like an old man. He's like, I don't know what you kids are into these days.
You're not wrong. I could probably name the original 151 Pokemon, then after that, I'd be so lost. Is Ash still the main character? Is he still the one going around
No,
catching
he retired, dude.
Pokemon? No,
Yeah,
no.
I
How
think
do
it's
I feel
Ash's.
about this?
I think it's Ash's daughter. That's the next main character, but that's not confirmed
Ash
yet.
had a kid. Okay, this makes sense because I was like watching Pokemon back in the 90s.
Who's the
You
baby mama
know?
is my question.
Misty, I
Maybe
guess,
we'll
or
look at.
something.
Really? You think Misty?
No,
No,
we're Misty and
I'm just
Raw
guessing.
thing.
I actually no, I didn't follow the anime as much, so I don't know as much about that. But like, yeah, I would guess like maybe like Misty or something.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. Mm. Um, team, just a heads up, we have just about 5 minutes left before our Zoom call times out. Um, and I love this. I love that we can go from talking about students, and how to raise students to talking about Pokemon and who's cool and shit like that. I love it. I love this balance that we've struck.
Time passed by so fast today. I didn't even notice.
Hmm.
Yeah. But I did have a question for Pi before he leaves. I want to know, did your parents what was do you know their thought process when they were naming you?
So yeah, so actually like I actually didn't have a name I think for like a while, like the first maybe even up to 3 years, like a really long time. Like they there was like a basically like a giant like board or whatever, like and people would just like write suggestions and there were all sorts of like kind of weird suggestions, but then eventually like they kind of settled on like I guess pocket. Well, because my dad like really loves math and like I think other people like endorse that name basically. But like yeah.
So how did they get your attention if you didn't have a name?
Well, actually,
That's what I want to
I should
know.
really confirm the story. I don't know if it. I should confirm like how long it was. Maybe not that long, but like, but yeah, no, I
Wait,
definitely it
you
was a while. But yeah, no,
wow,
I don't know.
for
Or no,
3 years.
maybe yeah.
You were a whole ass toddler.
Actually, wait, no, that sounds wrong. I'll have to like confirm that, but like that definitely sounds like too long. But I know it was like longer than you would expect.
Wow, that's awesome. But you know what I appreciate and I respect that your parents did is that they didn't just like pop you out and name you right away. They wanted to wait and find the right name. I actually like that. Yeah. And I like
A
that they
name says a lot about a person, and I think
yeah.
a lot of us partially form our identities based on our name or around our name.
Yeah, Hussein keeps trying to get me to name my kids after him. So
What I actually said was, would you be willing to negotiate the rights to name your child? And then I said Hussein is a good strong name for a baby. That's all I said. Pi, if you ever have kids and you need name suggestions, please come talk to me.
he'll name your son like kombucha or something like Chewbacca.
No, it would be like Goku or something, or
Having like
Vegeta.
an anime protagonist name.
Exactly.
Pai's like, oh, here's my son, guys. 10 years later, he comes in with Naruto Nasir.
And I mean that would like match. You have like double like initials too. That would.
And
That
then,
would
yeah,
be so sick. That would be perfect. Now maybe I should have a kid so I could name them something stupid. No. I'm gonna stick
most
to
of
naming other
yesterday,
people's
Hussein
kids.
was like, I don't want no kids. And now he's like, I want one just so I can name it.
Name them something stupid. Oh, I already have some contracts with some friends, or I'm naming the
Wow.
kids. Hmm.
You have a contract. What are you, girls? Rumpelstiltskin? Like,
You have like a contract sitting around that you're gonna be able to name your friend's kids. What?
Correct.
What? How did this
Correct.
come about? Like a lost bet or something?
No, 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 no. So my best friend, when we were in undergrad, I was like, we were just sitting around one day, and I was like, "Yo, I want to name your kid one day." And being my best friend, he was like, "Yeah, for sure, no problem." Right? So, him and his now wife, back then they were still dating, or they were engaged, right? And they came to visit me when I was living in Ottawa, and I go to her and I was like, "Yo, listen, I hope you know that your husband here promised me that I get to name your kid." And she was cheese, but she was like, okay, I'm down, but here's some conditions. And she gave me a long list of conditions. And
It
based
can't
on
be
those,
Naruto. It can't be Goku. That was the conditions.
the
some of
first
them,
name on the
yes.
list was Goku, and she crosses it off.
Yeah, I feel like
Okay.
she was basically just having like an
Um,
increased like blacklist of names that can't be like
yep,
anime
yep, and it
characters.
did keep it. Speaking of names, we are down to under 1 minute.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
Pi,
sorry.
please
Let
tell
me
us
do
who do you think would make
random.org
a
very
great
quickly.
next, really good next guest for us?
in under 60 seconds. You better hurry this up, Pi. You better
Oh.
work fast.
Oh crap. Integer generator.
Or you could just pick a name.
Okay, number 20. Whoever is like 20th alphabetically. I'm not sure who that is actually.
20th alphabetically.
Oh,
Watch
you're
that.
making us do